Given the financial markets have been on a downturn for over a year now, you probably wonder where the next move of the overall market is going to be. Given the fact that the interest rates are high and the Fed keep on raising the interest rates much higher, there is a lot of stuff to consider at this point. Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, wants to tame the inflation, and that means he's going to raise the interest rates much higher. And this will lead to the labor markets to continue to contract. In this video, we are going to get some perspective from the business billionaire Elon Musk, who's running multiple billion-dollar businesses. And we are also going to get some perspective from a YouTuber who has been in the game since 2013. You can drop a comment giving out your opinion where you think the next move of the cryptocurrency will be. Enjoy the video.
Well, I think it's more like it does seem like we're headed into a recession here in 2023. The magnitude of that recession is debatable, but I think it's at least a light to moderate recession. Potentially, it's on the order of 2009. So I think it's wise to kind of like prepare for the worst, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Don't get too adventurous. Like watch out for margin debt. Like I would really advise people to not have margin debt in a volatile stock market, and from a cash standpoint, keep powder dry. You can get some pretty extreme things happening in a down market. Like Brett Johnson, who was a CFO, who is a CFO of SpaceX, was at Broadcom in 2000. And he said that, and that's a good company making good products. And he said from peak to trough, I think in less than 12 months, Broadcom went down 97%. So like even if you had a small margin loan there, you got crushed. It subsequently recovered, and I think to much higher levels. But if there's like mass panic in the stock market, then you got to really be careful about margin debt. So, but I mean, this is just as we know, the economy is cyclic. So, and we're somewhat overdue for a recession. And my best guess is that we have sort of stormy times for a year to a year and a half, and then things start to dawn breaks roughly in Q2 24. If I were to get, that's like my best guess. Recessions don't like booms don't last forever, but neither do recessions.
I think we could go as low as 10,000. I believe that. I believe that in fact, I think we could even if we got to that 10K level, we could still maybe flash crash briefly below that on a particular black swan or something, something equally serious. But I think for one thing, we can go lower because the stock market is forecast to go lower. The recessions in the US, the recessions in Europe and elsewhere, they're only just getting started at the moment. Stocks are predicted to slide quite a lot more from here. And because of that correlation between the crypto market and the stock market, any slide in stocks will mean a heavier slide in Bitcoin and an even heavier slide, obviously, in alts. So I'm kind of I'm preparing myself for that eventuality as well. I think we've also got things like mining bans to worry about. Obviously, this comes back to energy, doesn't it? This idea that energy shortages, perhaps certainly in Europe, perhaps in the US as well. Obviously, legislators have made noises about Bitcoin miners being forced to switch off their machines if there is an energy crunch, an energy shortage. That would obviously have big implications for hash rate and network security, and I think that could definitely push BTC lower as well. What else? I'm also I wonder whether January, we're getting towards the end of what's been a really difficult year. Christmas is on the horizon. I think probably, people are kind of putting off some big decisions. I think that's happening on a personal level. I think a lot of people will kind of look at themselves in the cold light of the new year and go, okay, I've got to service these debts. I've got to sell some assets to do that. I think we could also see more layoffs. I think a lot of companies, particularly a lot of tech companies, could be waiting until the new year and to do fresh rounds of firing as well. So, yeah, there's a few factors that I think could all contribute to drive BTC lower as well. And of course, the one final one that springs to mind is Mt. Gox as well. I think a lot of people are very worried that the Mt. Gox creditors getting their Bitcoin back will cause a load of selling. I don't think it will be that bad, but I certainly think that could add some sell pressure at a time that will already be kind of difficult. So, yeah, I can see BTC going down to 10K fairly easily. I think there's a good chance it can be more resilient than that, but that is what I'm kind of targeting.